Have you ever started a 3D print only to have it fail within the first couple of layers? This very problem could be due to the surface you're printing on being unleveled. As someone who's had a 3D printer for quite some time now, I've had my fair share of failed prints in the past. Now with a simple trick, I know how to level the surface every time. Today I'll walk you through a step-by-step process of leveling a 3D printer to achieve the best results when printing, and it's not as hard as it sounds. So what you're going to want to do before we can even level the bed, you want to make sure the bed is preheated to the set level that you're going to be printing at, as well as the nozzle. This is important because when the bed heats up, it expands. So to get a more accurate level, you want your bed expanded to where you're printing at. The next step, the most important tool that you're going to need to do this, besides your printer, is a regular piece of printer paper. You're going to want to take the printer paper underneath the nozzle, like so, and see how I can move it freely. You're going to want to adjust this knob underneath, turn it clockwise until your paper gets harder to move. And then once you don't want it too tight because then it'll mess up on all the other ones. But you want it just to where you can. Let me get this a little bit better so you guys can see. You turn this just to where you can move it with some resistance, but not too tight and it's not too loose. And then you're going to want to do the same thing with all four corners. So we're going to do the back ones because they're a little bit different. You press the 4 on here and it'll change. It just depends on what printer you have. Then the next thing is same thing. See, for this one for me, it's too tight. I know you guys can't really see the knob, but this back one, you're going to want to turn these ones, instead of clockwise, you turn them counterclockwise. So see how I can move the paper freely, and I start to tighten it, and it gets harder to pull. But you don't want it too tight still, just to where you can pull it with some resistance. Oh, and there was one thing I forgot to say. Before you even start doing this, you want to make sure your bed is clear, and you want to be careful reaching underneath, because this is going to be hot, and I burned myself multiple times before in the past, and it's not fun. By following those steps, you can ensure that your 3D printer bed is leveled, leading to more successful prints each time. We covered the steps preparing the printer as well as leveling the printer using the paper test method. But of course, I showed the preparing steps at the end of the demonstration. That was my fault. Remember, it's hard to build a house on an unstable foundation. The same goes with printing. It is important to have a level foundation to ensure success in 3D prints. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me via my Hawking email. And thank you all for listening to my demonstration. As janky as it might have been watching it, I thought I did a lot better doing it this time. Thank you.